Hi, welcome back. My name is Tad Hargrave, and so if you saw the first video, then you saw the what I'm about, and if you haven't, you can take a look at that. But what I want to cover in this video is the 4 key marketing secrets. The third key is the idea of the hubs. And I'll give you an example of this one. When I was in Seattle a little while ago, there's a realtor there that a friend of mine was working with. His name's Phoenix Rudner. SeattleHousehound.com, I think, is his website. And the challenge is there's tons of realtors. There's so many realtors out there. And if you're a holistic practitioner, you also experience this, that every year there's more and more holistic practitioners. But in some ways means more demand, but also means people start seeing everyone as the same. So he was frustrated because people were just, why go with one real estate, person over another? And that almost always comes down to price, which really steps back to the offer. And the question we're asking, I guess, with the offer, to step back just for a second, is why should I do business with you? Why you versus your competition? And if there's no answer to that, then price becomes the issue. So if you've had people sort of shopping around or calling you about price, that's what it is. They think that what you're doing is identical to what everyone else is doing. And so Phoenix Rudner was in this place where people just saw him as a commodity, as identical. And so if you can imagine, this is him, this is Phoenix, and this is a dog. Why am I drawing a dog? Because Phoenix he was a dog nut. He loves dogs, has a socially unacceptable level of knowledge about dogs. But my friend Dominic Canterbury, who was working with him, he realized that he was so, just loved dogs so much. And he said, well, why don't you become a real estate agent for dog lovers, for people who, own dogs, love dogs, and they're moving, and they need to make sure their new place is going to be suitable also for their pet. And does that meet the 3 criteria? So let's go back. Do those people have a common set of needs that he could help them with? They do. If you own a dog and you're moving, you're going to have a very different set of needs than other people. Are there enough of them? Yeah. There's a lot of dog owners in Seattle. And how embarrassing. And are there already established hubs? Yeah, there's already established hubs. But what are those hubs? And this is the important thing. Where do dog owners hang out? Where are they already spending their time, their money, their attention? Well, if you think about it, there's vets, there's pet trainers, I guess dog trainers, I don't know if anyone trains cats, there's groomers, there's kennels, there's pet stores, there's dog psychologists, yes, it's true, there are dog psychologists. There are, what else? Dog groomers, dog psychologists. There's dog walkers. There's going to be dog parks that are a location where people might be. And so the point is we could go on and add more and more things to this. And you could probably come up with 20 just in a couple minutes, just off the top of your head, of all the places that people go to spend their money and, work with their dogs. So the importance of these hubs is that, let's say there's all these people who are dog owners, and they're all over Seattle. Well, Phoenix could spend all of his time trying to approach them individually. Go after that person, then go after this person, go to the dog park and just talk to every person individually. He could do that. Or just go on the street and hope he meets, people who are dog owners. The challenge with that is it takes a long time. It's really painful, and nobody knows you. Nobody knows your name, and nobody's glad you came. You're just walking in cold. And if you send a direct mail piece, like 100 letters out, and if you got 5 people to respond to that letter, that would be great. That's actually a pretty strong response in direct mail. But if that letter came from a friend, somebody you knew and you trusted, and 100 people got that letter, you might get a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60% response on that letter. When it comes from somebody we already know and trust, it just opens the door. So he could go after them all individually, or he could realize that let's say this vet already has relationships with all of these pet owners. This vet is a hub. If you look at it, sort of the center of the wheel, and all the spokes converge on him. And if he can just spend the time to get to know this vet and build a relationship and earn this vet's endorsement, it's going to be so much easier. So there's 3 criteria, though, when we're looking at a hub. There's 3 things we want to know about a hub to make sure it's a good hub. And there's a lot of sort of sub-criteria, which we'll go into later. But the 3 big ones are, number 1, these people should be well connected, meaning they probably know a lot of people, they're in touch with them often, they have a way to reach them. Number 2, they're well respected. And number 3, that they're open to endorsing things. They're open to endorsing good things to their list. So if you can find a hub that meets those 3 criteria, they're well respected specifically by your niche. They're well respected by your niche, they're well connected to your niche, and they're open to endorsing quality things that are going to be relevant and valuable to your niche. And you can build a relationship with those people, you're way ahead of the game. The 4th piece that we're going to explore together is this idea of word of mouth. And gosh, this is such a big topic. On some levels it's so easy, but on other levels it's really tricky. Word of mouth. We all know that the best form of marketing is the human voice, just friends telling friends about products they love. And you do this yourself. When you find a great product that you like, you go and tell everybody you know, you rave about it, you brag about it. And people love doing this. People gossip about stuff. 25% of conversations are about products and services. And if people like what you do, they're already talking about it. But we need to really distinguish between active word of mouth and passive word of mouth. And when most people say, oh, I use word of mouth in my marketing, what they really mean is they use passive word of mouth. Passive word of mouth is where you just have a good product or service and hope people are going to talk about it. And that's the basis, having a really compelling offer. But the question is, are there things you can do to accelerate or encourage people to talk about it? And there are. And that's active word of mouth, where we really get strategic and think about all the different ways that we can accelerate and sort of escalate the amount of word of mouth that we're getting from people. So those are the 4 key components: the niche, the offer, the hubs, and the word of mouth. And again, if you look at the end of this video, you're going to see a link that you can go to that will give you some free materials to work with to take this all a little deeper. And in the next series of videos, we're going to start exploring the niche in much more detail. So we covered it sort of basically here, but we're going to go a lot more into detail about what that is. So thanks for watching.